Yeah. I actually, I just recently caught up on getting the other 2 episodes up and live, so I'm working on it. It was funny, too, because DJ asked me about that. I'm like, dude, it's pretty much edited. All you got to do is go public with it. And he's just like, no rush. I'll let you do it. I get no help with that shit, man. No help. So you guys get it when I get time. God damn it.
And then he goes, oh, I want to get on the website.
Yeah.
The one thing he actually does.
Yeah, he asked me 3 weeks later if he can get an episode on the website. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks, bud. You can't speak your mind. No, anyway, all right, so mute your mics. We're going to start the show. Oh, snap, it's the show that puts the sensual in non-consensual. It's the Late Night Steamer Podcast. And yes, I know I used that one before, but goddamn, it's just so good I had to use it again. This is episode 90, season 4, recorded live on May 10th of 2014. I am your host, Survivor4580. With me this week is the one and only Mr. Non-Consensual himself, Mr. Linux for Life.
What's up, motherfuckers? And no, he just can't come up with anything good anymore, so he's just got to reuse old shit all the time.
Oh, hey, I resemble that remark. Speaking of resembling... no, I'm kidding.
Wow. Wow.
I'm kidding. Also with us this week is the one and only as well, the token female gamer of the show, Miss Tanakila.
Hi. I got nothing.
That sounds about right. That sounds like the show is off to a fantastic start. And this week's sponsor is DJ Pimp Daddy, because, hey, if he's not the sponsor, he's not going to be on the show anyway. So
That's an awful large sponsorship.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
So for those of you listening to this show... That's an ego joke, right? Is it an ego? Or no, I'm kidding. Anyway. So for those of you listening to the show on Twitch or on YouTube, be sure to catch us live every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here at twitch.tv/Late Night Steamer for surprise giveaways and butt sex and other fun stuff. We're stuck
butt sex.
Mostly butt sex. It's mostly butt sex. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to click the like button down below, because the like button does help us out quite a bit, as well as, if you haven't already done so, subscribe. Just subscribe.
Yeah.
Please.
Share and
Share, like, whore us out. We will be your bitches if you are a pimp. You know, that sort of thing. Oh, man. So today I've done something different. I'm actually wearing a sleeveless shirt. Check this out.
Ow!
I know, right? I know. Look at these muscles. Look at these non-existent muscles. Look at those non-existent...
All I see is white light reflecting off of your arms, so...
Well, he does have the right to bear arms.
That was corny. Moving on. Oh, my goodness. So, hey, Linux, why don't you go ahead and move us on to the first section of the show?
What section? Oh, you're going to do roulette.
Oh, yeah, we are supposed to do roulette. Well, then why don't you introduce it anyway? God damn it! All right, yeah, we're doing Super Roulette. Because I suck at life. So let's roulette stream, why don't we? All right, for those of you who have not joined the show before, we're going to spin the spin the wheel 3 times, and upon those spins, you guys will be able to vote on which game you want to see. We can veto a game if we feel that it would be too long. And let's see what the first game is. The first game is Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. Ooh.
Sounds like a good one.
I always like to have fun with some sisters. Anyway, spin the wheel a second time.
Wow.
The ship single player.
I'm waiting just to see her come flying out of the room behind you.
I thought about it.
She will do it too. Don't provoke her. Webcam is not on the show currently, though, so keep that in mind. All right, and the third spin is, let's see, Cities XL 2012. I want to veto that one. That's Cities will be taking way too long. So veto.
Yeah, spin again.
Tana, veto.
What is it?
Veto. Okay, spinning the wheel again.
It's kind of a SimCity thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alien Shooter 2 Conscription. Wow, these games suck this week. All right, so live chat, be sure to let us know what you guys want to see. So Linux.
That's what I was thinking too.
This is a bad week. This is a bad week. So what do you want to see, Linux?
I'm gonna go with the ship.
The ship? Okay. Cronus, there's the ship. This is going to... All right, first off, I want you to mark this on the calendar. This will be the first time that I'll actually agree with Ricky. I vote Half-Life 3 as well.
That is not just a calendar mark. That's a record book mark.
Yeah, so I agree with that one. Tana, what do you want to see? Do you need a reminder?
Twisted Sisters.
All right, Gianna Sisters. After that remark, she just want to see me plays with sisters.
Yeah.
All right, so right now the ship has 2 votes and Gianna Sisters has 1. So let's see. I think Ricky's the only other person that hasn't actually voted yet. So is there anyone else in that chat right now?
Because he voted twice now. He said Half-Life 3 and Fez 2, but those are not. Do you not understand the game there, buddy?
All right, well, it looks like it'll be the ship then. So stick with us right after the show. We will load the ship up.
Yeah, he says ship.
And, yeah, it's a piece of ship.
Yep.
It's definitely a piece of ship. All right, so now, Linux. Why don't you go ahead and guide us into the next section? Guide us softly.
Guide us into the steaming pile of news. Sexy.
That's hot. This music totally does not match what we're doing right now.
No.
It's all like upbeat, loud drums, heavy rock and roll, and we're all like, This just got awkward. So what are we talking about this week?
So we're going to start with the quicker topic. I think we'll start with here. We're not going to go too deep into this, but it did stir up quite a bit of controversy in the game industry this week. And that's Nintendo with their Tamagotchi life, not having same-sex relationships in it, and Sims 4, which releases this fall, I believe, gets adult rating in Russia for having same-sex relationships.
Yeah. So, by the way, that was a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard that.
I'm actually of mind that it's sad that we have to have this conversation, to be honest. If a game developer adds it, great. If they don't add it, I don't think that they should be criticized for not having it in their game.
Well, I can't remember who it was that said it, but somebody at Nintendo said that they were trying not to do social commentary. And that was one of the main reasons why they didn't include it. It's a game marketed to kids, and they don't want to do social commentary.
Yeah.
And, trust me, I am all for equality. I do believe, that a man should be able to marry another man, or a woman should be able to marry another woman if they so choose, because, goddammit, marriage sucks. And if they want to put themselves through that, then have at it. I don't believe that there should be anything against that, but I also don't feel like everything needs to coincide with that belief. And I could kind of understand why Nintendo is more or less like, listen, we just made a game. We're not trying to be the standard by any damn.
Yeah, at this point, they just need something to rack in some money.
Yeah, no kidding. I think the bigger news is that they're almost $500 million in the hole at the moment. So
I think saw some quick numbers of the Wii U, and I think they sold only like in the last year was like 2.7 million units, when PS4 has sold well over 7 or 8 million.
yeah, I think it's projected to sell even more too from their current numbers. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough subject because obviously, the more that you have like video games and movies and television series and stuff like that kind of help promote equality, the harder it is for governments to ignore and to help push that envelope. So I mean, in that token, I can totally understand, but it's so hard to, I guess, look at this and judge it because honestly, like I said, it's not intended to be social commentary. It's a game.
And I think, like The Sims 4, they've added same-sex relationships into their game, and that's what they wanted to do. But now they're dealing with the raft of that, and I'm sure there's going to be other countries that they're going to have to go through hoops and bounds and stuff. But in Russia, they had to address it as an 18-plus rating, adult only, because there is a law in Russia that, protection of children from information harmful to their health and development. And according to Russian law, non-traditional sexual relationships is a criminal offense to, basically expose children, to and that kind of, because a game, I suppose, it's looked at as kind of like educational at that point. The Sims, especially, where there's a lot of life lessons and stuff that go through the Sims, and so I see where they're coming from. I just think it's kind of a sad situation that this kind of stuff. I think this kind of stuff should just kind of be brushed under the rug, comes and goes, whatever it is. I'm actually, but it's more and more lately popping up into media everywhere.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just part of life. It's always been here with us. It's not like it's something new.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with you on that. It's just tough. Like I said, I could see both sides on it, and it's tough no matter how you slice it. So.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next topic here. Better story. So, WildStar. It's a game that's an MMO. It's developed by who again? Why did I not have that?
NCSoft.
Oh, there we go.
NCSoft.
That's all. They're running an open beta from. Oh, this is different than what I just read, but I'm going to go with what is in the doc.
Their website, yeah.
Running May 18th through June 3rd. Right? Which one's
No, I think it's from May 8th to May 18th. Because I think they're...
Oh, okay. It says open until May 18th. Okay.
Because they're going to release the game in June 3rd.
There you go.
Okay, that's what I got confused about. That's all. My bad. So yeah, they're running May 8th through May 18th in open beta. You can go there, sign up. You'll get your token probably within 24, 48 hours, I'm sure. Probably most times probably right away. But they are preparing for their launch finally. This is a game that actually I've heard about. I haven't really paid too close attention to it. I've seen a couple little shots on YouTube and stuff of some other people playing it through the closed beta process. I didn't get to watch like the whole video and see what actually entailed, but from what I saw, it actually looks like a pretty good game. It definitely looks well made. There's no question in that.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we were discussing this a little bit before the show, and this is one of these games you got to buy the game, and there's two different versions. You got standard and deluxe. Not really. I don't have the details up in front of me exactly what's the difference, but then also you have the subscription model, and this is where I personally have. I don't necessarily have a huge problem with it, but I do feel that it's a problem in general with these types of games that sometimes actually makes these games fail, even though they're good games. This model of I gotta shell out $60 to $80 for the game, and then I'm shelling out $15 or so a month for this game. So the subscription cost, we'll just run that down this real quick. For 1 month, it's $14.99. If you want to do monthly, it's $14.99. If you want to 3 months up front, it brings it down to $13.99, or you got to pay the $41.97 up front. 6 months, it brings it down to $12.99 a month, which is $77.94 upfront cost, or the 12 months, which obviously is the best deal because then they lock you in for that whole year. It's $10.99 a month, or 130. Well, you got to pay the $131.88 up front. I just want to know what you guys think of this buy the game and subscription model combined. I personally think either you buy the game and the online is free to play, or something of that nature, or if you want a subscription model like this, I hate to say it because I feel like it undermines developers, but at the same time, it's the way the economy has gone, especially with mobile gaming. Unfortunately, it's turned it into this. But then you just got to say, here's the monthly cost, here's the game, it's free, but to be able to play it, here's your monthly cost. But you two have played WoW for a long time, so you can come from this different perspective than I can. I haven't really played any games that are I buy the game and then subscription model. So
go ahead, Tom.
Okay. Well,
I heard you. You're like,
yeah, I know. I was like, who's gonna start?
Go ahead. No. Shine, baby, shine.
Well, I've been playing WoW since about 2006, and I thoroughly enjoy the game, and I mainly enjoy the storylines that they have that are intertwined between the different factions and leaders and worlds that they've created. And I am totally immersed into it. My room is covered in every type of paraphernalia you can imagine.
Yeah.
And I have even had a horde tattoo on my shoulder how much I love this game. Seriously. So anything that comes out with this game, what Blizzard has, I'll fork the $15 a month. I'll buy the new model. I'll buy the new game that's $60. I even get the collector's edition, which has the big ass box and everything. I have the piles all over in my room. That's like $100. I don't care. It's like, shut up, take my money.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends on how the developer makes the game to draw the audience into it. Because I completely love this game, and I've played other MMOs which didn't really capture me that much. So maybe that might be a model that this game may or may not go after between the storylines, because that's what caught me into World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question to kind of, I guess, help set the frame of mind for people. You've never really played, or before World of Warcraft, that is. You were never really big in the Warcraft franchise itself, were you?
At the time, when I
don't make serious, throw it out. Be honest.
Well, in 2006, when I started playing it, I was actually on a military base in Maryland for a few months doing training, and my fellow soldiers told me about World of Warcraft, and honestly, I haven't heard about Warcraft before then. Yeah. And when I heard that World of Warcraft was based on an RTS, I actually went out and bought Warcraft 3, 2, and 1 and played those.
Well, no, there's a reason why I bring it up. It's not necessarily to question your fandom. It's definitely not that at all. The reason why I bring it up is that this was something that you introduced yourself into, or had a friend introduce you to, and you fell in love with the game without having previous experience with the IP. And the whole point that I'm coming up to is that you ultimately fell in love with the game despite subscription fees, despite having to buy the game up front. and you fell in love with it and just loved it so much to the point where you went into complete fandom mode and decided that you were going to have Frostmourne in your bedroom, you were going to have all of that too. You know, and that speaks to the quality of the game. Now, I know a lot of people bash WoW for being the gold standard, and trust me, it's validated. Everybody can kind of take their shots, and it's okay. But when you have a game that people love that much, that does kind of speak volumes. And I think that's one of the main reasons why WoW has been able to kind of avoid going free-to-play, because it does have such a vibrant community and fan base that even when, oh my God, we lost 2 million subscribers, oh, that's cool, we were at 11 million, now we're at 9. Oh,
yeah.
And it's funny how that always happens, and everyone's like, oh God, WoW's dying, they're now down to 6 million. That's still 6 million people, come on now.
So I have played WoW only beta, not beta, but the trial version. I have never, subscribed to it and anything like that. And I also tried, what the Star Wars one there? What was it called?
Oh, it was Star Wars: The
Old Republic.
Yeah. When it went to free to play, and I don't know what Star Wars: Old Republic was prior to free to play, but when I tried WoW, there was no lag on the server. I could get in and do whatever I could during the little free trial I had.
Yeah.
On the Star Wars one, I got in there fine, but the server was slightly laggy. So, from my point of view, I can see where the subscription cost helps, I think. And I think that, that the server side of things is kind of where you get, that money is worth it. What I'm not quite grasping though is WoW does it, and I think they grab the market at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because I have not seen any other game that come across with the, buy the game and a subscription model work.
No, I completely agree with you, and I don't think. Here's the thing. I mean, you do have a few MMOs that are still subscription based. I mean, EVE Online still requires a subscription. As much as I hate to bring this up as an example, RuneScape still has subscription fees. And I think at least in the case of RuneScape and WoW, I think one of the main reasons why it still works is that there's enough of the content available for free that you can kind of get your feet wet, see if you like it, and then subscribe if you truly want to.
Yeah.
With EVE Online, they keep their market from a different reason. They actually allow you to buy your monthly subscription with in-game currency. And RuneScape's starting to do that too, actually. So if you're profitable enough in the game, you can actually use in-game currency for that. And I don't know exactly how that works, but
EVE Online though is, to be truthful, falls in a much different category. That is a fan base of some other nature that I'm fairly certain is out of this world.
Nice pun. Nice pun. I like
what I did there?
Comment from YouTube. James Wood says he finally made it on time. Welcome, James. I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and this is my perspective, and we talked a little bit about this in the pre-show. You're going to have this market, and you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the mobile market. I mean, when you have that nickel and dime type of currency system where you can buy the level up upgrades, you can buy cosmetic items, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're spending a couple bucks here or there a month, not necessarily.
Yeah.
And sometimes people do get sucked in and they end up spending $30
more than they
a
would.
month.
Yeah.
But they do it over days, and it's not like this one time. Here's $15. Thank you.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily see it in the big picture. They see, I'm going to buy this level up. That's $5. Oh, that's fine.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at Candy Crush.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made almost hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, based on microtransactions. So I mean, I totally understand what you're saying.
There's a game right there that would never work on subscription model, but because
No.
they penny nickel and dime you there, they've made $1 bazillion. So
Yeah, I don't even know how you could do a subscription model.
Yeah, I don't
with,
know
Candy
either,
Crush,
but-
and it's
It would be
funny to
interesting.
think about the Candy Crush MMO. You know,
Oh God.
oh,
dude,
shit.
don't bypass King. Do
Ricky
not
Star
bypass
said
King.
Lotro has had terrible lag and it has some subscription stuff, but I think their subscription stuff is different. It doesn't. I think it gives you like perks, doesn't it, or something like that? It's not really.
Oh yeah.
They're just
Well,
trying to cover
most-
some of the cost of servers. They're not trying to, with a dedicated subscription model like, World of Warcraft and WildStar is going to be, that's to cover their server cost. So if they
Yeah.
get bigger more fans, they need to bring more servers up, but they know the cost for it is coming in.
Oh yeah. Well, basically, to kind of go back to my point, you got the free-to-play model, which has obviously become incredibly popular because of the fact that there's no real commitment. I mean, if there's going to be 1 month where you're not going to play the game at all, you don't feel bad for unsubscribing, because there is no unsubscription phase.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, putting money in or anything like that. And I can see how that works. But I think a lot of people need to understand, though, when it comes to subscription-based models, the reason why you get such a high-quality game in those regards, and like Elder Scrolls Online is another game that's kind of at least proving that quality can exist in an MMO, is because that money that they're getting from subscriptions, it does help keep servers up, yes, but it also funds the development teams, and they can continue to work towards new content. Look at Rift. Rift is another example of a game that went from subscription to free-to-play. When they went to the free-to-play side, they didn't release as many updates as they used to, and I think that's just because they just can't flat out afford it. They can't afford it.
But now, I don't know how well it would work again because I don't have any, this scale developing. I don't know, money-wise, what figures we're talking here. I'm sure it's billions of dollars, but it almost seems like some of these games, like the Old Republic, they would have been better off saying, here's the game, it's free, we're going to charge you our monthly subscription cost, and we're probably going to charge you a little bit for expansion worlds or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a better than saying the game's $60, $80, and you got to pay $14.99.
It depends on the game.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's a case by case thing. Because in the case of Elder Scrolls Online, and I hate to bring it up again, but in the case of Elder Scrolls Online and even World of Warcraft, when you're buying that base game, that is a lot of content that you're buying. There's a lot of things that you can do straight off the bat, and that money, again, that money's got to go towards those who worked on the project. Whether it's royalties or not. Again, I don't know how the money gets split. But if you got a game that maybe like what was the name of it? Defiance. Defiance didn't have a lot of content right off the bat. That's a game that really should have been one of those things. It's like, okay, why don't you just we'll pay a subscription fee. You can play the game, but you don't have to buy the game. And I think that would have worked out a lot better in that case.
So I guess that is really then where the Old Republic would fall too, is because that game wasn't fully developed when they released it. I don't believe.
No, they left a lot of content out right off the bat.
So maybe that would have been because even when they went to the free-to-play model, I still think they're hurting over there. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm assuming it's kind of a, there's some fans here, but otherwise it's a dead product as far as the rest of the world's concerned.
We touched on this once before, and the reason why the Old Republic didn't quite work as well as it should have, and it really should have, because it's a good game, and I still like to come back to it every now and then, but the reason why it didn't work out is that people were expecting it to be Knights of the Old Republic 3, and it wasn't. It was nowhere near it. While it did have a lot of the same gameplay elements because it is still BioWare, it definitely at least helped that much. But because it wasn't necessarily the sequel to Knights of the Old Republic 2 that they were looking for, it got dogged hard right in the beginning. And it's hard to recover from something like that.
Yeah.
But to touch on possible free-to-play methods that do kind of, I guess, work, and go figure, the guy who would have been able to talk about this isn't here.
Sure.
Lotro is actually not a terrible example, and most MMOs do this, especially free-to-plays.
Yeah.
When you have the subscription available to you, obviously not being a requirement, you get things like Rested XP, which for those who don't play MMOs often, what Rested XP does is it gives you an experience boost that you can use while you're playing the game that you wouldn't ordinarily get if you just play straightforward. Rested XP basically gives you like an additional buff for a certain amount of experience while you keep your character rested in like Star Wars' example, a cantina, or World of Warcraft's example, an inn. You know, if you keep your character rested in there while you're offline, you get rested XP, and then that helps you level up your character faster later on. So, it's almost like as if you're getting XP for sleeping, essentially.
Yeah.
Most free-to-play MMO games don't give you that. They don't want to give you that buff. If you're not going to pay a subscription fee, why should they care about your character while you're offline? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can see it. In the free-to-play, a lot of those kind of buffs are something they charge for because they need to make money somewhere. You know, and I get it. And I think it's just a fine balancing act. And just with WoW out there, it's a tough market to come into. I haven't seen anything succeed after WoW. I mean, that's just with this model.
Yeah. And there's been a lot of great games that unfortunately kind of just dropped off. I mean, Rift was one of them. I liked Rift a lot. It was a bit grindy, and there were some issues as far as quest hubs being taken over by Rifts, which it's like, oh, wait, I have this quest I want to turn in. Oh, wait, no, my town's taken over. I'm going to have to wait 3 hours or wait for a raid group to come in and clear this out. And that kind of sucked. But that's a thing with Rift, not necessarily MMOs. But I mean, Rift was a solid game that unfortunately had to go free to play because they couldn't keep up with subscriptions. But it was a quality game. Look at Conan. I mean, that game completely dropped off. I don't even think it still has a subscription. I don't think it exists at all. I don't think they have servers.
I don't know.
Conan was considered another WoW killer, and that's gone completely. Hellgate London, gone. You know, and it's just great quality games that kind of dropped off, and I think it all really boils down to commitment. It really does, because I mean, when you have a subscription fee, there's a commitment there. You're paying money monthly.
I suppose that would be a good question that I'll get to in a second, but I just want to real quick. So what you get for when you're purchasing the actual game, the $60 or $80 version. So the standard $60 version, you're getting 30 days of included playtime. So your first month is basically free, so that's included. So that's a little nice. I guess that's nice, because then that gives you a feel whether you want to go on or not.
Yeah, that's at least $15 right off the.
Yeah.
3 guest passes with 7 days of gameplay, so that if you have a couple buddies that don't really know if they want to buy the game or not, I suppose they could give them that. Now, I don't know if you have to buy the game.
For the gift passes, no. Final Fantasy XIV did something similar when they first came out. Not Realm Reborn, but when it first came out, you had a friend code that you can give to a friend, and they were able to play the game with you for free for a month. And I had a friend who gave me a code, and of course they were able to let me play after a month because the game got into such shambles. But I did not have to buy the game to play that first month. I think so that's when you get it. It's a lot similar to getting a beta code. You insert the code, download the client, play.
You said that one game gave you a month, but 7 days, you're going to know within 2 or 3 days whether you're going to enjoy the game or not. So
7 days is a lot of time.
Yeah.
You can get a max level character in some games in 7 days.
And then
you
get some housing decor items in the standard edition as well. In the deluxe edition, you get the 30 days of included playtime, 3 guest passes with 7 days of playtime, housing decor items, Elden-themed hoverboard, Elden argumentation costume, something like that. Special.
So like attire for the character.
Elden costume. I don't know. Yeah.
I would assume it's an appearance.
Yeah.
I don't.
Special Alden title, and then Alden colored dye for your armor. So on that deluxe edition, it doesn't sound like you're really getting a whole lot more, but they're giving you a little bit to show that they appreciate your money, I guess, is basically what it comes down to. You know, some of the games I've seen that come out like this, they give you like double XP for a month or a couple months or something for buying that deluxe version. Doesn't look like they're doing that, but again, I don't know how exactly the gameplay is going to work.
Real quick, on the YouTube stream side of things, Twig Herman says hi. Hi, Twig. Welcome to the stream. I like the name. I think it's cool. I mean, I think it all boils down to being case by case.
Yeah.
It's hard because I don't know if we'll ever see another subscription model actually succeed. Not for now. Not until the mobile market starts slowing down and microtransactions stop being like the big thing. As long as microtransactions are still a big thing, unfortunately, I think any free-to-play game is going to succeed.
I really, I hate to say it, but I believe the mobile market is hurting the gaming industry.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
We're seeing crappy indie games come to Steam now that barely run. Some of them are, labeled alpha, which is fine. If you want to buy into an alpha, sure. But there's some of them that are basically mobile ripoffs that barely run on a damn fucking PC. And it's like, this is not what gamers want.
Oh, no. There was that one game that was a Plants vs. Zombies ripoff, and it was like frickin' Gene Simmons' girlfriend or wife. I can't remember what it was, but it was a mobile game from iPhone that got ported over to Steam, and people were ripping on it because if you skipped the tutorial, you couldn't play the game. Like it was broken.
Yeah, that's weird.
And again, it's another one of those situations where, like, when you have mobile games that are ported over, it's awful. I mean, that game had microtransactions on iPhone. I don't know if that carried over to the Steam version either. But it's just the quality of games out there now are much less because developers basically have the perception that if they can make a game that's basically focused around microtransactions versus quality, they're going to make more money.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue that. You can't argue that with how, again, Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
It's making tons of fucking money. Pop-Up Air Saga, another King game. Yeah. These games are making great money through microtransactions, and it's awful.
So I just want to wrap up before we go on to another topic here. Just want to wrap up WildStar, and I think I'm gonna do some of the beta weekend here, or a week, 10 days they have, because I'm curious to see how it runs and stuff. If I like it, I may try. I personally have never done a subscription model game like this, so especially having like an open beta like this, I think this will give me the opportunity to find out whether, for me it would be worth it or not.
Definitely.
I think this is something we should also keep on our radar a little bit and just kind of follow along, see, because this is going to be a game that I've heard a lot of hype about, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes when it does launch.
Yeah, completely agreed. Completely. Maybe after the show, let's discuss a time that we can do it, because I'd like to play it with you.
Yeah.
And,
right,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
right.
let's get that together. So.
Not a topic that we have lined out, but going on to this whole like alpha bullcrap. So Towns.
Yeah.
A game that everybody paid full price. There was no alpha tag. So Towns was an original game, part of when Steam Greenlight first came out. It was one of the first games that got greenlit, and it didn't just get greenlit. I mean, it got up on Greenlight, and then like 3 days later was granted access because it was just unbelievable. Now, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of
think of it as like a Minecraft / Civilization hybrid. You basically had you had your little villagers that were helping you build these towns up, and you had like disasters kind of happen, and you had to accommodate for the disasters. But it all had that very voxel type, boxy look to it. Or I think it was a little cartoony actually. But yeah, I mean, it was essentially another one of those city builder type things.
And the developers promised so much, and everybody jumped on board. Now, you can say, well, everybody jumped on board because it was kind of the height of Minecraft buzz.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, a game similar to that, not exactly, but you got that style play kind of thing going on there with the block world and stuff. But the developer promised a crap ton. Never, ever does it mention in the Steam description, now or when the game came to be on Steam, that it was an alpha build or a beta build.
Yeah.
And this may be developer's fault. The developer felt, or actually, not even developer's fault, because there was two main developers on this project. One of them, once they got greenlit and stuff, said, we need to get it out there, we need to get it out there, we need to get it out there. The other guy kept saying, it's not ready, it's not ready. Unfortunately, the lead developer guy was the guy pushing it to get it on the market. And that's kind of where I have a problem, because we are so... With Steam, it's so easy to buy into these games now that they push a game to the market like that. That was a $20 game. Now, granted, they claim that a majority of their sales came from when it through it being discounted here or there. But to be fair, it's a $20 game. There's got to be some standard. And it's not just them. We're pointing them out because this week, basically, both developers have abandoned the game entirely. There's some industries, I guess, some other studios that are looking to buy the IP. So maybe the development will continue. If it gets bought up, it's probably going to continue on a different track than what people wanted. But we'll see. But it's not just them. It's indie development in general. All of a sudden, indie development used to be some, they weren't AAA titles, so you weren't spending hours and hours on them, but they were quality games.
Yeah.
Now, we're barely getting what I would even consider alpha on some of these indie games, and it's because it's so easy to buy these games that they say, well, we'll push it to market, we'll work on it for a bit, and if it succeeds, we'll continue it. If it doesn't, well, we've made a bunch of money, but not as much as we want, so we're going to move on to the next project. That, to me, really hurts indie development in general. It puts a bad rep out there for them, and in the long run, it's going to make people not buy indie developed games.
Yeah, I mean, the same could be said about early access, which the reason why this game was not on early access was because the game was released before early access was actually installed. But this was a game that really
mentioned that it was alpha. They could have at least in the description said, "Hey, the game's still in development. We're considering it beta or alpha," but it wasn't any of that. And then when people started playing, all these promised features that are in the description aren't even in the game.
Yeah. Well, there was what was that? Earth 2066. It was a game that got pulled off of Steam because it was the description promised a lot more than what the game actually was, and the game literally got pulled off of Steam.
And kudos to Valve for doing that. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
That it needs to happen, and I think it needs to happen more, to be honest.
Yeah. The problem is that Steam, I don't think, has a lot of QA.
Yeah.
And because of that, we're seeing...
We can see that. I don't know how this greenlight process works on their back end, but there's crap coming through out of there.
Yeah. I think the problem is that the back end is so automated. But that's another topic for another time. To kind of go back to this whole towns thing, I think this speaks volumes as far as what is the actual issue. Is it Steam itself, or is it developers that are promising more than they can give? Obviously, Steam needs a little more QA. I mean, and that's something that can be argued about anything really Steam-related at this point.
The other good question would be, or is it us too willing to give money for these smaller projects?
Well, the same, I don't completely agree with that. And the reason why is because if it's available and it's being promoted as something great, then naturally people are going to buy it. I mean, look at how many of those as seen on TV type items that we see. I mean, the gyro bowl where you can never spill your cereal because even if you flip it upside down, the bowl is right. And naturally, we get these great advertisements for it with all the kids just swinging their freaking candy around.
And the cereal dumps all over your head.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, as humans, we have always been the type of people to buy into shit.
Yeah.
It's just we make shit go brown is basically the way I like to phrase it. It's not that we make the world go around; we make shit brown. Is basically what it is. So I mean, I think it's one of those things where no matter what, it would have been bought. The problem is that Steam makes it available. And I think Steam needs to either play test their games before they put it on the market, and really, come on. You're going to have a hard time hiring people to play video games? Come on. Please.
You got plenty of money coming
volunteer. I will do it for free. God damn it. I will do it for free. But, I mean, you got people that easily would have been able to do this job, and they don't do it. And I think this is a problem that Steam has. And they need to focus on, as well as developers need to stop overhyping their project.
Yeah.
They need to focus on the quality, focus on being more truthful about their delivery, and you'll see much better games coming out in the long run if you just fucking take the time to make them better.
Yeah, and I think even a game that we enjoy, we haven't played in a while, but enjoy, Rust. They've promised a ton, and now that they've gone back and basically have rewritten the game, and I think that's actually coming out in the next patch here, that whole rewrite situation.
Oh yeah.
But they're getting bashed all over their own forums now because they promised a lot, and none of it's here yet.
Ricky in chat brought up that Bang Bang Racing forums were talking about how the devs don't do shit about forum complaints or anything.
I
found this out while searching for a fix for why it crashed every time I started a race. I've actually played Bang Bang Racing. I think that was a mobile port, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's another fine example of a developer who basically goes, game's out, fuck it.
Well, we did one of those mini racing things like that where the multiplayer doesn't even work.
Oh yeah, F1 Restars.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Another thing that it's
bad netcode.
To me, it's I don't know. Something's got to change, and I just don't know where it changes because we're getting a lot of crap. We're getting a lot of mobile ports from mobile to PC now all of a sudden, and that's not what I want to be playing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, every week, Steam's new release list is just full.
Littered.
Of essentially garbage, as far as I can tell. I don't go and look at every game, but it's just...
Yeah.
It's too much. But
variety is nice, but it all depends on quality. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. If there is not a very good selection of quality... A funny thing to note, I just went over to the Steam store page on my client, and instead of defaulting me to new releases, it defaulted me to top sellers.
It did.
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just, there's nothing but junk coming out this week.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, like Fantasy Grounds, Fistful of Frags, The Calling of Cows. But don't get me wrong, I don't know if these games are good or not, but it's another thing. We don't get enough from the front page to truly let us know if it's good or not anyway. I mean, they need to have, like, maybe their Metacritic scores right next to the price to at least give us a viable idea, and maybe even give developers a little bit of a push to make sure these games are good enough to get good Metacritic scores. I also feel that if it's going to be a mobile port, it needs to be listed as a mobile port.
Yeah.
If your game was designed to play
Yeah.
on Android or iOS first, and it comes ported over to PC, it needs to be noted as that. Because like if you look on the list here with new releases, some of them blatantly say indie. That's great. That's excellent. I'd rather it say if it's mobile. If it's a mobile port, I want to know, because that's probably going to tell me if I want to play it or not.
Yeah. And I don't want to totally. I feel like we've like bashed Greenlight. I mean, there's been plenty of projects that are good projects that have come out of there as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So there's good and there's bad, just like everything is on the internet. I just think we're getting more bad all of a sudden for some reason that we don't need.
It all boils down to Steam's QA. I mean, they have to have more quality assurance. Take the time to either play these games or fucking have your kid play them. I don't care how you do it, but find out. Don't just assume, and I think that'll help out a lot.
And just one last thing I suppose is, when it comes to the price of a game, I think the problem was when smartphones became the new thing, and people started buying them. People didn't quite understand digital content. So in order to get people to buy them, they had to price everything either free or real low, like $3 or $4. And I mean, there was one site I was looking at, and they actually did a survey on people. And anything that was basically $5 or higher, they said they would probably not purchase because it was too much money.
Yeah.
And to me, as a developer, you cannot live selling your game for $1 or $2. I mean, that's basically a hobby cash. That's not making any money.
Well, it depends on the game. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. They need to be, they need food. Basic essentials. But if your game only took you 10 hours to make, no offense, but you shouldn't be making
yeah. No.
And
but
a lot
that's
of
the
these
other
games.
Well, that's the other problem is because they can't price a game appropriately. We get garbage on these stores because, well, in order for me to feed my family or feed myself or pay my college bills that I have now, I need to make a bunch of these crap games that, because they're crap, I'm selling them for $1 or $2 or 99 cents a piece. But you know what? Because they're so cheap, billion of people are going to buy them whether they like it or not. So there's got to be a market change, and as much as I like the Humble Bundles and the idea that they have, because they bring a lot of stuff that would never be, especially as a Linux user myself, that would never be brought over to Linux, because the Humble Indie Bundle guys actually are the ones that port a lot of that stuff over to Linux.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they are not helping this market situation either by saying, the Humble Bundles are great deals, but I think there's got to be a base price set on those. And they tried doing it a little bit, I suppose, with, if you pay over this X amount of dollars, you get these extra games. But I think it's got to be higher than that. It's too low still, I think.
I don't know. I agree with you and disagree with you at the same time. I think, who was it? It was Total Biscuit who actually did a video kind of talking about how he did talk to some developers, and they were saying that they actually make a lot more money when they sell their games on Humble Bundle, and we're talking really good money. And Total Biscuit was like, really? I mean, people are buying bundles for $2-3. How much of that do you get in a 14 game pack? And they were explaining, it's like, well, yeah, but I mean, you also got to look at how many people actually buy these things. How many people actually pitch in more than the average amount?
Yeah.
Sometimes you get that one person that pitches in about $1,000, and that alone, when you split that,
True.
It works out pretty well. And it also boils down to exposure. I mean, when your game is bought, people talk, and then after that Humble Bundle is no longer available, they go, oh man, this is a great game. Maybe you should go pick it up, and then they'll go to Steam or whatever service they can and buy it. So I mean, I think.
Oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that side of it.
Price availability, it's. I get what you're saying, and honestly, yeah, I mean, we need to make sure that our developers are taken care of because they make our games, and it's obvious. But I also think that the operation costs, especially in an indie market, is a lot less than we may think. And I think there's some developers that might exaggerate that number a little bit because ultimately they want some pocket money.
And I don't want to sound like, well, I'm just for big development. I'm totally against what like EA does and stuff. I mean, they make, as far as I'm concerned, most of what comes out of EA is absolute fucking garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Especially their sports series, garbage. Like the Madden series, I don't personally buy, but I know people that do.
Oh yeah.
Every year, it's the same fucking game. Only difference is they've updated the roster, and they charge you $60 for that.
Or they'll give you some little slight mechanic change.
Yeah.
Another prime example of that would be like when I'm a huge WWE guy, and WWE is now taken over by 2K Sports, and they're doing the same thing. They'll release the game every year. It's a roster update. They'll maybe put a couple of new entrance videos for the new wrestlers.
Yeah.
They might have one mechanic that's been tweaked, like this last one I think was tag team action. They have a lot more tag team moves. And again, they sell the game for a full price, $60 a year. And honestly, it's the same damn engine, and they haven't done much with it. So
this will get me flamed a little bit, or a real lot. But Call of Duty is basic to me. Yeah, they have different storylines.
That for years, man.
But that's a game that they pretty much drop a new storyline into, publish. Drop a new storyline, publish. Now with Ghost, they did a little bit of different stuff. But as far as I'm concerned, and what I've read, Ghost is actually crap. So they changed it, and now it's garbage.
Here's the difference. With Ghost, you get to play a dog.
Doggy style.
Oh. Yeah. Here.
Were you offering? What? Sorry, Scott.
Hello. Hello. Anyway. Who's gonna walk on by that comment?
We should.
Yeah, we should probably move on. But hey, I'll let the laughter cool off a little bit. For those of you watching this on YouTube, hey man, this is a perfect time to use the comment section. Let us know how you feel about this, and then maybe next week we can revisit this a little bit and talk about some of the comments below. So use those comment sections. And I'm not pointing to my penis, I swear. I swear.
Surely looks like it.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I guess I'm trying to provoke some community discussions.
Yeah. They're going to be community discussions, all right?
Yes, sirree, Bob. Hey, speaking of community discussions, let's go ahead and move on to the next segment of the show. I'm assuming we're done with news?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've beaten a few topics to death.
We've exhausted a few of them, yes. We're going to move on to the inside our Steam box. I don't know why I give a list for that, but yeah, there you go. Hey, Linux.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a very enthusiastic yes. Let's try that again. Hey, Linux.
To be fair, haven't played a whole lot. I played some NASCAR this week, 14. Again, trying to catch up on my series, which I did, thank God. But also a little bit of Minecraft. I've recorded one episode, but who knows when the hell that'll actually be fun.
Was it a full episode or not a half episode like I did?
No, it was a full episode this time. I did that, though. The first time I tried recording the first episode, I did a half episode, and then I went to go record it the other day, and I'm like, fuck, I just got to restart from scratch.
Oh, man. That sucks.
And
where can people find your videos at?
Oh, we're going to pimp shit? Okay.
Yes,
I can pimp
it out.
So, Swenson Gaming, you can find it at youtube.com/Swenson Gaming. You can also follow me on Twitter at Swenson Gaming.
I was just talking about videos. Fuck you.
We were pimping everything, dude. You said pimp it. I pimped it.
No. I'm not pimping you. I'm peeping your videos.
He's just
because
concerned I'm going to get more viewers than him. Oh, that already happened.
oh yeah. First and foremost, I've never been upset about that. I've always kind of like looked at my abysmal views and goes, yeah, that's right on par with what I expected it to be.
To be fair, I just happen to catch a niche. That's the only reason I have even what I have.
Dude, no, you do quality stuff, man. That's the bottom line. You do quality stuff. But no, I figured, hey, you're talking about these videos. Might as well at least pimp where they can find them at. So.
Other than that, I haven't even played anything on my phone. I am actually. I'm in the process of getting a new job. A friend of mine needed some help. He runs a retread tire plant. So I'm actually like switching gears from what I normally would do any day of the week to what I consider is probably going to be hell on earth. But it'll be good. It'll give me some exercise and stuff too that is well needed, not just sitting in front of a computer all the time.
Word.
Or, cleaning here or there.
Real quick before you continue, I probably should have mentioned this earlier. Folks in chat, both on the YouTube side and the Twitch side, you guys can let us know what you guys have been playing, and we'll announce it later on. So, sorry, I just wanted to get that out there because I know Twitch. These guys know they're pros. They got it. But YouTube side, we're getting a lot of comments from people from names I don't recognize. So I want to make sure they know that they can pitch in on this as well.
Yeah. So I haven't played much else. Really, nothing else. Again, I was actually watching to see like if anything was coming on sale or anything was coming new out, and to be honest, not even on Steam or anywhere else caught my eye. So I'm at that point, I suppose, where I have so many games to play now that it's just like, and I don't have the time necessarily that it's just like.
Yeah,
because I was about to suggest.
that.
We'll touch on this in a little bit, but I mean, BioShock Infinite just went on sale, and then they got the triple pack now too, which we'll again talk about prices in a bit. But I mean, BioShock Infinite is such a fantastic game. I mean, that's a really good sale. If you haven't played that yet, now is a really good time. So.
Well, that's like Borderlands 2. Man, it's like killing me that I haven't played this damn game yet.
I know. We still got to get a game going with that too. I know Leopard Keeper said he would be down.
We tinkered with it once in a while.
Yeah. He and Thomas played it a bit.
Yeah, I own BioShock too. I own all the BioShocks, but again, I haven't played any of them.
I haven't played them either.
I played a little bit of BioShock 1, but just, those kind of games, I really feel I need to sit there and take the time and do them correctly, not just like play 10 minutes here or play 20 minutes. I feel like I need to spend a couple hours at a time because I feel like those kind of games, if you just spend 10, 20 minutes here or there, you actually lose the actual storyline.
Yeah, it's definitely tough because you will break immersion if you have to. But the problem is some of those games are so long you kind of have to.
I mean, you have to take breaks. There's no question about that. But
But I know what you mean.
I think you got to sink an hour or two, not just 20 minutes, half hour.
That's kind of what I did with BioShock Infinite. I mean, I played at least about 75% of that game straight.
Yeah.
I mean, I was playing for about 6 or 7 hours. But my God, that game! It's this beautiful fucking story. Oh man! Again, if you haven't played it yet, just do it. Just do it. Call off. Be sick. It's amazing. It is an absolute amazing piece of art.
So before I continue any more tangents, you can continue on to the next person.
I can move on.
Tangent McGee today, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? What, you come on here and you're bitching about everything. Jeez.
I know, right?
Jeez. Let's see what episode this is going to be. I'm going to change the title to Linux Bitches About Everything. Linux Against the World.
Yeah, I think we talked about WildStar for half a second, and then it was just bitching about subscription models and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the title for this episode, Linux Against the World. Hey, Tom, speaking of being against the world, what have you been playing?
Well, I dabbled a little bit of Knights Pen and Paper Edition. I usually come back to that once in a while because it's a lot of fun just to sit there for a few minutes and just bash and kill things. And then I played a lot of Dungeon Defenders and Hearthstone. And Hearthstone actually got some ranking going on, so I'm getting more competitive in that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I started playing a new game this past couple weeks. It's called Catherine. It's for my 360. I got it through GameFly, and it's the storyline's really gotten to me that I'm starting to play it, but I had to put it down recently because I was getting frustrated and killed constantly. It's like, before I throw my controller and break something, let's take a break.
I really want you to touch on the story a little bit about Catherine, because you were explaining it to me, and I was getting freaked out just by you explaining the story. That's how messed up this is. I mean, this is Japan at its finest. This
Yeah,
is Japan.
it is a Japan import. Basically, the name Catherine is the main character's girlfriend. You play a guy, and he has a steady girlfriend named Catherine he's been seeing for 5-6 years. Then she brings up that she wants to go further with the relationship. Like, oh, I want to get married. How come we're not married yet? And he gets all flustered. He's like, but I like the way things are. And then he accidentally sleeps with the chick that he met at the bar, who's this flighty blonde chick with like big boobs. And I'm like, ooh, she's hot. And
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and so now this guy's completely flustered. He doesn't know what to do, and everything's based on morality choices. So you have to choose between A, B, or C. What the fuck do you want the main character to do? And it progresses through the storyline through this morality meter. And so also further on, his steady girlfriend says, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. You're like, ah, fuck. What do I do now? But every time he goes to sleep, he goes into a nightmare syndrome, which you get turned into a sheep. Well, everyone around you are turned into sheep, and you just have ram horns. You're in your boxers cuddling a pillow going, oh, God, what the fuck's happening? And this nightmare mode is basically something is trying to kill you, and you have to climb these blocks, kind of like a tower system. And these blocks you have to move into stairs to climb up to the top to survive. And after so long, the bottom row of blocks just keeps falling off. And if you fall, you die. And then after about 2 or 3 stages of going through the blocks and getting through the top, there's also sometimes a boss that also climbs after you and tries to kill you. So not only to try to not get to the bottom block that's falling off, you have to try to escape a boss that's climbing after you. And from what I've read through the storyline, there's 8 nights of nightmares and terrors. And I'm on the 5th night right now. And the blocks keep getting kind of harder. The blocks transform into traps and try to kill you. There's some blocks you can't even move. And little add-ons you could use to maybe change stuff. And it's horrific, because some of the bosses come after you.
The mutant baby was the one that really caught me. It's like this gigantic, disturbing baby. And what was that? It was because your stable girlfriend she might be pregnant or something like that?
Yeah, her stable girlfriend admits that she's pregnant, and he freaks out. And then that night, in your nightmare, the mutant baby is trying to kill you, going, Daddy, why are you leaving me, Daddy? And it's,
Well, this is one fucked up game.
Yeah, it's a Japanese game, man.
That explains everything.
Yeah, Google Catherine for either the PS3 or the 360. On Google, you find all these various images and stories. And yeah, one of the bosses was her in a wedding dress trying to kill you with a knife. And it's like, oh God, what am I getting myself into? One night I tried to play it before I went to bed. Bad idea. I dreamed she was trying to kill me. And I'm like, I'm going to play this during the day now.
Yeah, like I said, I remember you explaining that to me, and I was just like, oh boy, this has to be like every man's real life nightmare. I mean, because what you were explaining is that if you die in the dream, you die in real life.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people, like men especially, who run in situations like these, who would almost feel like, man, if I did die in my dream, I'd be okay with that. When you're going through this much stress, it can't be good for you. It cannot
like, fuck
be good
this,
for your
I'll jump
psyche.
off the edge.
Yep. It's like, you know what? Take me now, God. Take me now.
Yeah. One thing that really freaked me out from those night terror bosses, it's actually instead of the hands crawling up, it's their feet. And it's the ass that's chasing you with the mouth and eyes. It's fucked up. And it freaked me out because it has this long-ass tongue trying to lick you and go, ah, I want to play. It's like, go away from me.
Tongue coming out of its asshole? What?
Yes. The mouth is on its ass and
Man,
eyes are on the butt cheeks.
this is a game that needs to be on Steam. I'm just saying. Now that would be one hell of a Steam roulette game. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you've been playing?
No, that was the last one. Besides, being competitive in Hearthstone. That's about it.
Very cool. Very cool. Me personally, I haven't actually been doing too much gaming this week. Well, actually, I've played a lot of games, but not a lot of variety of games, I guess is the better way to put it. I've obviously been playing Minecraft. I think there's no other way to go about that other than
You're always playing that game. Every time I look at your computer, it's always Minecraft.
I like how he tries to hide. He's like, yeah, I'm playing Minecraft. So.
Yeah, I'm playing Minecraft.
You're starting to sound like DJ now.
Are you going back to BarryAudible.com?
Oh yeah, BarelyAudible.com, our greatest sponsor. You can get a free challenge. Hey, it's $5. Anyway, I miss Andy. Anyway, but yeah, I've definitely been playing Minecraft, no doubt about it. I've been playing some Dungeon Defenders. Actually, me and Tana, we killed the main dragon.
Yay!
In Dungeon Defenders, so we have essentially beat the main game, but there's tons of like Steam Workshop levels and stuff like that to do. So. We also, admittedly, we did it on easy because Tana wasn't quite familiar enough with her class to go on hard yet, or normal for that matter. But now, I mean, Tana's a freaking working it like a boss, man. I mean, and no pun intended, because I know Linux is all like, working it. Yeah.
I know how to work it, you know it.
Oh, yeah, you know how to work those towers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Tana's to the point now where I don't even have to tell her where to put towers at, man. She knows exactly where to put them at, so it's like, cool. So we'll probably do more of that at another time. And that's a lot of fun. I like playing that game. And it helps actually having people to play the game that's competent. So
Yeah, I'm confident.
I'm confident. Outside of that, I've been playing just a buck ton of Zelda Link Between Worlds. I'm actually to the point where I'm on the final boss now, and I have to backtrack to catch all these little Mayas, which are like baby alien things that are like just littered across the world. Apparently, if you're an alien, a female alien that gets pregnant, you have hundreds and hundreds of children in one pregnancy. Good God! It's just too much. It's too much. And I'm sorry, but if your kids are littered across the world, you're a bad parent. You shouldn't be having kids anyway.
It's like a spider sack.
Yes, spider sack. I'll shoot you with a sack. Anyway, this just got dirty again. But yeah, so Link Between Worlds, fantastic game. Love it. Once I beat it, I will probably start moving on to Pokemon X. As far as phone games are concerned, I've only been really playing Fairway Solitaire, which is just a fun little golf-themed solitaire game, which is pretty interesting. It's a lot of fun, and I'm liking it. And there's really no major microtransactions. You could buy stuff, but you don't even need to. I mean, I've already beaten the whole game with no microtransactions, and they give you a lot of options as far as additional levels and stuff like that. So I'm doing that too. So. A lot of fun. Good stuff. It's microtransactions done right. If you're a nub and you can't fucking play solitaire, they have options for you to help you with that. But if you know what you're doing, you don't have to worry about it. So,
cool.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Going through live chat, nobody on YouTube posted games they were playing, so our YouTube crowd is lacking, and Twitch wins again. But not by much. Ricky is basically saying that he's been playing Modern Warfare 3, Grid 2, and today did a 4.6-mile mud run. Not really sure what that is. I would assume it's a motocross sort of thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And apparently Gunther Corp is also dealing with the same issues that you're dealing with. The Twitch stream is freezing. Hey, Gunther, if you hear this at all, you can actually watch the stream on our YouTube channel. I think you could also watch it through our Google Plus channel. So check it out there if you're having some troubles. So there you go. That's pretty much it.
Excellent.
Excellent, excellent.
Thanos.
Yeah, Tana, it's your time to shine.
Yay.
Scream it.
Yeah.
I don't wanna.
I don't want it. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll scream it for you.
Yes.
I love
You
you.
did so much better.
All right. Let me get the music going and do You Cheap Bastard with Tanakila.
So first up, in Humble Bundle, they still have the Humble Image Bundle. There's 2 days left, and they actually added 3 new three new comics to their bundle here. The minimum, you get the East of West, Fatale Volume 1, Lazarus, and Morning Glories. They're all Volume 1, so you get like the first 5 issues. Pay over the average of $9.58 to unlock the rest of them. Saga Volume 1, Volume 2, which they added recently. So you get issues 1 through 12. Revival Volume 1, Chew Volume 1, and the Manhattan Projects Volume 1, and Invincible Volume 1 all usually have issues 1 through 5. And they also have pay more than $15 to unlock the Walking Dead comics. You get Volume 1 and Volume 20.
Nice.
You get issues 1 through 6 and issues 115 through 120.
That's
So
Little
for
gap
people,
in between.
yeah.
like for the beginners, if you want to start reading it, you get the first one. People who have been reading it get the newest edition.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah.
And for the Humble Weekly Bundle, they have Night Dive Studios. There's 4 days left. And they all actually have Steam keys. Pay the minimum to get Wizardry 6 and 7, Shadow Man plus soundtrack, not available on Linux. And you gotta pay over the average of $5 to unlock I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
That definitely sounds like Tana.
Hey,
You can't scream.
so I don't want it right now.
Ah, okay. Maybe later.
And you also get the soundtrack. Harvester plus soundtrack, not available on Mac. The Seventh Guest plus soundtrack. Pay over $9 to unlock Wizardry 8 plus soundtrack, not available on Linux. And System Shock 2 plus soundtrack. And that concludes Humble Bundle. The Weekly Bundle had over actually 16,000 sold so far, and the Image Bundle had over 35,000 sold so far.
I want to talk about Shadow Man real quick, because if this is the same game that they had on PlayStation, this game is awful. Absolutely awful. I remember it tried way too hard to scare people, and it really came off bad. I don't know if the PC version was upgraded from that, I might be even thinking about a different game, but if this is the game I'm thinking it is, I'll pass.
I think it may actually be.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google search that. Go ahead and continue, Tom.
Okay.
I'm gonna Google search that.
Alright, next we have Steam sales. This weekend deal, we have Dragon Age Origins franchise, which has Dragon Age Origins 75% off for $4.99, which has the Dragon Blade armor, Blood Dragon armor, can't speak apparently, and the Stone Prisoner. The Dragon Age Origins Ultimate Edition is 75% off for $7.49, which includes the original Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Origin Awakenings and all 9 content packs. Then we have BioShock Infinite, 67% off for $9.89. BioShock Triple Pack, 75% off for $14.99. So you get all 3 games.
Get it. Get it.
Then we have Doom 3 BFG Edition, 75% off for $4.99. Doom 3 Pack, 75% off for $3.24. Doom Classic Complete, 75% off for $3.74. And Darksiders Franchise Pack, 75% off for $14.99. That's all for Steam. Then we have GOG. Their weekend promo is the Indie Mix for 2 days left. All titles are 85% off, which include Ms. Mata, the
Miasma?
yeah, the Gene Forge Saga, Retro City Rampage, Evoland, wait for it, Hotland Miami.
Woo!
You can get all of these 19 games for $54.31. That comes about to the average of $2.86 a game.
Damn, she even bust out with an average. God, don't even tell you that.
I did math.
You did. See, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to understand something. That's how much Tana is busting her butt to help this show out. She's doing math. She hates math.
I'm not going to give any exact details, but also check out Humble Bundle, their store site. They are doing spring sale till May 21st.
There you go.
Oh yeah, I forgot to put that on there. Thanks,
That's
Lennox.
okay. That's all right. Isn't it great when we all come together as a community and help out?
Yay!
This is why I don't like docs. Just say it.
I make my own.
I know this. I'm okay with that.
I like organization.
A couple of games on this GOG sale that I want to pull out and talk about because they're really good. Evoland is a really fun game. You basically evolve your RPG from like Game Boy level to the PlayStation 3 type level of gameplay. And I really love it because when you actually start playing essentially like the PlayStation 1 style of RPGs, you actually get a loading screen with a spinning disc to mimic Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Yeah. And it's so well done. It is a very humorous.
I think I have that in my library. I should play it at some point.
Yeah, you probably should. The Ball, giggity. The Ball is a very fun physics game to play that is based off of the Source engine, I believe. That's a lot of fun. Miasma is a game that if you truly enjoy a survival story, it is for you. But if you like lots of action, if you like a purpose, I guess is the best way to put it. Miasma is a hard one because you don't get any direction outside of like some hand signals here and there, and it's a brutally hard game to play, and not even hard in a good way. But, yeah, there you go. So is that all for the sales?
Yep.
There you go. Fun times.
I did math.
I know.
Fun times. Alright, so we're going to move on to the last section of the show, and that is LNS Invades!
Woo!
Get the music in. Nice little drum beat. So LNS Invades, we actually don't have much to talk about outside of if you need to, or I would like you to, more or less, head on over to our Steam group, which is found at steamcommunity.com/groups/late night steamer. We are trying to figure out what the best time for LNS Invades are. Randark was telling me that right now Friday is looking like the good day. Rebecca Black will be pleased.
I thought she moved on to Saturday.
Did she?
Yeah, she moved on to Saturday.
Yeah. I think she still loves Friday.
And she has said there will be no other days of the week.
No other days. Oh, man, what about Sunday? You know, let's have a song about Sunday. Going to church on Sunday.
You make it.
No, don't dare me. Don't dare me. I'd do it.
Do it Biomix style.
Anyway, so this week I think we're probably going to end up sticking with TF2. It's a lot of fun, and even if we don't have a lot of people show up, it's one of those things where we can still have a good time regardless.
I don't think my laptop can handle that anymore.
Well, come over.
Okay.
God. But yeah, so TF2 also going to be on Thursday, and yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, if you guys want to suggest any games, please do so. Remember that with LNS Invades, your wallet is our concern. It has to be a free-to-play game. And a lot of people, and I think I've explained this like
including
2
hosts.
seasons, and including hosts, yeah. I think I've explained this like 2 seasons ago, and people still have troubles remembering this. LNS Invades was brought in, essentially, to allow people to play games that didn't require a budget, and we can all play games and have fun. And we've had a lot of successful LNS invades, and we've also had some very terrible LNS invades. But even the terrible ones have some humor involved in it, and it's a good time regardless.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. I'm kind of looking at Ricky here on this one. Keep that in mind when you're suggesting games for LNS invades. It has to be free to play.
Cards of Humanity.
Cards of Humanity. God damn it. Anyway,
You're welcome.
does not necessarily. Here's the thing: because we changed formats, it does not necessarily have to be a Steam game. As long as it's a PC game, virus-free, preferably, and does not require Origin because I refuse to fucking promote Origin. As long as it's a free-to-play game on PC, we will check it out and play it. So, but Steam is usually a better idea to do it on because we base all of our events off the Steam group, so it helps out a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Any last thoughts before we close the show?
Let's get the fuck out of here.
You get the fuck. You look tired. You look like you are ready to get some sleep, dude.
I've been ready for a nap before we started the show.
Yeah, I know. It's because you had some real good Italian food in your gut.
I was going into a food coma.
All right. So like I said, for those of you listening to the show on Twitch and on YouTube, here's the links for you guys. You can find the website over at latenightsteamer.com. You can find our Twitch over at twitch.tv/latenightsteamer. You can find our YouTube channel over at youtube.com/latenightsteamer. You can find our community at steamcommunity.com/groups/latenightsteamer. That's going to have the calendar to kind of let you know when we go live and all that fun stuff. So definitely join us on that. We also have a Facebook page. Oh
Oh my god!
You can find us at facebook.com/latenightsteamer. And, of course, follow us on Twitter, which is the more hip thing to do. We're at twitter.com/lnsteamer. And definitely, like I said, people watching this on YouTube, leave comments down below. If we talked about something in the news section that you want to comment on, we'll revisit it next week and kind of pull some of your comments up and talk about it and have a good time. And yeah. So yeah, next week, Late Night Steamer, episode 91, Saturday at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Getting close to episode 100.
I know. We still got to figure out what we're going to do. I actually had a couple people ask me if they were going to, or if we were going to redo what we did for episode 50.
No.
Fans make the doc.
Well, they can make a doc, but I ain't fucking looking at it this time.
That's the thing, because we're not using a show document anymore. It's like, yeah, sure, you can make the doc. We just won't look at it. But we will need to figure out something to do for episode 100. Maybe we'll do like a big LNS invades or something like that. We'll figure it out.
We'll do something crazy.
Yeah, in the meantime, hey, you can make suggestions on our social medias, on YouTube, in our Steam group. Let us know. What do you want to see? Help us out. Help a brother out, man. Help a brother out. All right, I'm getting out of here. Say goodbye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, stream's over. What happened? Did I miss something?
What the hell did I miss?
Yeah, I know. I'm really actually kind of feeling it right now.
I'm leaking. No, I'm crying.
I'm leaking.
What the fuck happened?
Hey, the Google Hangout